How's it going, guys? It's your boy Random Tall Guy bringing you back another video. Today we're going to do something completely different. We're going to put the Jeeps and the project cars to the side. Today we're going to do something kind of new. Since we're stuck at home, I wanted to build a gaming PC just for the heck of it. I already have a PC that I use to like render videos and to work on my projects and stuff like that. But now I want to build a gaming PC just so I can start streaming on Twitch and stuff like that. So I just want a secondary computer. And I was looking through Facebook and YouTube, and I discovered a video where a guy built a PC for under $600, and he was able to play high def 4K games out of it. So I want to make something similar to that. So today I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna show you what components I bought, and so in case you guys are new to building PC and stuff like that, at least you have an idea of what to do and what to buy. So let's get started. Just a heads up, the pieces and components that I bought was cheap at one point. Now when I went back on Amazon and went back on like Newegg, the products that I bought, the prices really jacked up. It went high. That's due to everyone buying PC parts because everyone's stuck at home being bored. So when I built this PC, it came out to around $600. Now that might fluctuate up to $700 or $800 depending on what parts and components you buy. A disclaimer, just a heads up, the parts right now building a PC is really expensive just because everyone's jacking up prices, just because there's a high demand for all these components. So that being said, let me show you what I bought and what I'm doing right now. So stay tuned for that. Alright guys, we're going to jump right into this. Alright, so the motherboard that I pick out for this build will be the Gigabyte B450 Aorus M. This cost me about $104. Every single product that I'm going to show you, there will be a link in the description below if you want to check it out. As I said, the price won't be the same, unfortunately, but if you want to check it out, link is in the description. Now we're going to install this motherboard into the chassis. Now this case I bought for about $60. And it came with little motherboard riser screws. Now you want to put those screws in first, and you want to make sure that the motherboard is going to sit correctly in the case. Alright, now once the motherboard is secured on the case, we can move on to the processor. Now the processor I went with is a Ryzen 5 processor from AMD. This one is pretty amazing. I picked it up for $80, and looking through all the reviews, all the YouTube videos on it, everyone loved this processor just because how cheap it is, but the performance and the quality is pretty damn good. As they do have like the Ryzen 7, I believe Ryzen 9, which is superior to the Ryzen 5. But for this one, we're just playing games on this PC, so it should handle it. If you're doing stuff like 3D modeling or like video editing and stuff like that, you want a beefier processor just because you're gonna have trouble rendering videos and stuff like that. But I'm strictly building these PCs just to play games, so as long as my graphics card is pretty decent, this processor should be fine. As I said, it's $80, you can't beat the price. And just to say, a side note, when installing the processor, you want to make sure that the corner arrows is matching the corner arrow on the motherboard. The processor can only go one way, so just make sure, pay attention to the arrow and install it. Once you place it inside the motherboard, close the arm to lock it up, and you should be all set with the processor. What I love about AMD as well, they also throw in the cooler fan for this processor, and the best part is that the fan itself has the thermal paste already applied on it, so you don't have to go out and buy thermal paste and get create that big mess when you apply too much. It's already is evenly distributed on the fan. All you have to do is put the processor in, put the fan on, tighten the bolts, and done. Alright guys, so once you get the fan installed, go ahead and plug in the connector to the motherboard just to get out of the way, and then we can move on to the graphics card. Alright, so the graphics card I selected was a Gigabyte Radeon RX 570. It's basically 2 fans, 4 gigabytes. The graphics card is not that bad. I mean, it's affordable. I pay like 120, 110, and I said it can handle HD games, 1080 to 2.7, and frame rates depending on which game you're playing. I was able to play CS:GO at 130 frame rate per second, so it can handle itself pretty good. If you want to play like 4K videos or play stuff like VR and stuff like that, you want to upgrade the graphics card. But as for right now, this one's pretty decent, so we're gonna go ahead and install it. Now to install this graphics card is pretty simple. The first thing you want to do is make room so that you have the ports for the graphics card sticking out of the case. So in this case in particular, all you have to do is pop out these case covers, if you want to call them. Just pop them out with a screwdriver, and then go ahead and install your graphics card. Your graphics card only installs one way, so all you have to do is locate the slot that the graphics card goes on and just press down evenly until you hear a click, and you should be all set. Once you have that, you just go ahead and tighten the front port plate onto the case, and you should be all set. You can move on to the next step. Alright, now we can go ahead and install the RAM. What I have here is 16 gigs of Ripjaw V Series DDR4 RAM sticks. Is 8 gigabytes in each RAM, making 16 in total. What I love about the motherboard is that it has 4 slots, so you can go ahead and you could buy cheap RAM for like 4 gigs, 8 gigs, 16 total, and then later in the future you can go ahead and add more sticks of RAM to get like 32 if you like. Alright, once you're all set with the RAM sticks, you can go ahead and install your solid state drive. Now this one is just a cheap one I picked up on Amazon. I believe that it has like 180 gigabytes. Solid state drives, they're really small. You can slap it anywhere inside the case. It should be perfectly fine. Since I don't have like the mounting screws to mount it onto like the frame of it, I'm just gonna put it underneath the case, and it should be fine as long as it's not interfering with the wires or anything hot. It should be all set. Once you get that in, it's pretty much self-explanatory. You just mount it somewhere, you put the connectors, you move on. Alright, once you get the solid state drive installed, now we can move on to the annoying part, which is giving every component power. Now the power supply I went with is this 600 BR 600 watts bronze power supply that I have here. This one was cheap. At first I literally put it into the sharpen cart, and then the next day I went ahead and purchased it, and for some strange reason it boosted up like $30 more. So power supply at this moment are really expensive, so you want to look into it. Now as I said, this build is not crazy, so 600 watts should be enough for this. Now maybe if I upgraded like the CPU and the RAM, then maybe I want to go to a higher wattage, but 600 should be good for this one. Alright, once you get to this point, this is the hardest part of the build. Now this is where you have to snake all the power supply cables to the motherboard and give power to every component. Now it's annoying just because all motherboards are different. So the connectors and the ports could be all over the place. It always differs based on which model you have. If you look really closely into the motherboard, you can see all the ports and connectors has a name on it. It'll be like CPU fan. It'll be like SATA 1, SATA 2. So you really want to look carefully. Now I'm gonna put a link in the description of another video of a guy wiring this motherboard, just because his camera was able to zoom in really close where you can see the lettering and kind of see what he's talking about, because there are like little pins that you have to pay attention to, and it's extremely hard for my camera to focus on that. So I'll put a awesome video in the description below if you want to check out exactly where all the cables go to. Alright, once you screw the power supply, you want to go ahead and locate where all these ports go. You have a lot of SATA cables, a lot of CPU cables, the motherboard power supply. So you want to squeeze it over and make sure they're all connected properly. This part depends on what you have in there. I can't, if you're doing a different setup, I don't know what you're putting into it, but that's how it goes. Alright, we're gonna go ahead and snake it over and install these, so stay tuned for that. Alright, once you connected all the connectors and checked to make sure everything was plugged in, do a triple check, make sure that all the cables are in good condition and that everything is plugged in the correct slots, because it's important that we don't connect a power cable to the incorrect port, because sometimes there's ports in the motherboard that's supposed to send signal, not receive power. So if you put a cable that transmits power into that port, you can fry the motherboard. So do a triple check, make sure that the correct cables are on the correct ports, and make sure that the cables are tucked in all the way. Some of them you will hear like a clicking noise to make sure that it's locked in position. So make sure all the cables are connected before you give power to the power supply. Alright, and this is the scariest part now. Once you checked everything, you can go ahead and get yourself a extension cord, get yourself a monitor, go ahead and connect everything and turn on the computer. You want to make sure, first of all the fans are blowing and that the computer is running smoothly. In a couple of seconds, the computer should go to the BIOS screen. Just because unless you have some pre-install like the operating system on the hard drive, most of the time it should go to a BIOS screen. Once it goes to a BIOS screen, from there you can go ahead and select an operating system. I'm going to run Ubuntu and Windows just because I like Ubuntu, I like the challenges, but Windows is still the superior operating system when it comes to gaming. So that's my opinion. Alright guys, and we are done. The computer is turning on. It looks like all the fans are blowing. Everything looks fine. I'm gonna go ahead and slap an operating system into the computer and mess around with it. I'll make a follow-up video later in the future, just explaining how good the PC runs and what type of flaws you will experience with this kind of build. As always, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Give me a thumbs up. Let me know if you liked the video. As I said, go out, do some research, build your PC, have fun with it, and yeah. Stay safe, guys. Have a good one. Random Tall Guy signing out. Bye.